Alright, this is Boxing with the Truth, and I am the Truth. It's February 8th, 2015, and today we're here with two-time heavyweight champion of the world, terrible Tim Witherspoon. How you doing today, Tim?
I'm doing all right. Everything is good. Like I was saying before, I wasn't feeling really good, and it was some high blood pressure, and I got the medicine. I feel wonderful now, so I'm ready to go.
Alright, let's talk about your record real quick. It's 55 wins, 13 losses, and 1 draw, correct?
I'm almost sure that's accurate, yeah.
Okay, and I just want to talk about your amateur record real quick. I really don't understand this. How do you have 8.5 amateur fights? How do you get a half in there?
I don't know where that came from. I thought it was 7. I thought it was 7 amateur fights. When I was boxing amateur, I was with this trainer named Clarence Booker. You know, I went to this gym called Passion Gym down in South Philadelphia, and I was doing my amateur career. I was with a guy by the name of Clarence Booker. Now later on, I found out that he wasn't adequate enough to take me to the heavyweight championship of the world. And most young fighters really don't know what they're getting into when they acquire a trainer, when they first start training, unless they really know who the guy is. Well, after I came home from university, I was a tight end at Lincoln University, Missouri. There was a couple of guys from Minnesota there too, talk just like you. and I had a trainer named Clarence Booker. And I was winning fights, but I noticed I was getting hit a lot. And I was coming out the fights, little blood canals and stuff. And everybody in the gym in the neighborhood knew that I had potential, including this trainer named Senator Madison, who was also in the gym. And he trained Mike Boston, the Jewish bomber, who later on went on to win the lightweight championship of the world. So I respected him a lot. Also respected my trainer that I later on found out didn't know as much as the other trainers. I won the fights. I was winning fights, and I was getting, some of them were easy, but a lot of them was hard. So, my last fight was with Joe Frazier's son, Marvis Frazier, and I lost a close decision. It was a split decision, and I lost it. I was sick. I was sick for the fight. I didn't know no better. We'd been in there before them. We lost the decision. And from there on, that's when I knew I was capable of being a good boxer when I fought him.
But you didn't, like I said, you only had like 8 amateur fights though, right?
That's the first time I heard that. I thought it was just 7.
Okay, no, I read it was actually 8.5, and I didn't understand how you had a half.
I don't know who said don't put that in there, 8.5. I fought all my fights, 3 amateur fights that I had. I fought. I don't remember them stopping, disqualifying. So somebody, that was maybe a mistake.
Okay. All right, so let's jump up to your pro career. I'm just curious. I actually read that Muhammad Ali actually gave you the name Terrible. Is that true?
No. But he was a promoter. He surely was a promoter of it. There was a friend of mine that I grew up with. His name was Talik Eddie Burgess. And he gave me the name. During that time when I was an amateur, Terrible meant really good. People come up with certain slangs. And so like if a guy hit a 3-pointer from all the way out, a nice one, they would say, oh man, he's terrible. That was in the late 70s, early 80s. They came up with that name. If a dude hit a home run, a nice home run, they said, man, that boy was terrible. If we threw a guy out from center field to home plate, he was terrible. If he knocked the guy on his butt or really got the best of his opponent, he was terrible. So my friend was coming to the gym with me all the time. And then he just said, man, you're terrible, Tim. You are a terrible bull. Because I was boxing, experienced guys. Like, I was boxing guys that was fighting 10-round fights, and I was just an amateur, and I was getting the best of them. So I didn't really like the name in the beginning, and then I started slowly liking it, and then Muhammad Ali really took the ice on the cake. Hold on. He really put the ice on the cake.
Okay, but you actually did spar with Muhammad Ali, though, right?
Yeah, I sparred with him. Well, first when I was, they said that we could use his camp. I was in Philadelphia training with Shah Muhammad, who recently died. He was one of the greatest light heavyweights of all times. And then we started going up to Deer Lake in Pennsylvania to Muhammad Ali's camp, and I was his main sparring partner. Me and Percy Custer, who now has the James Shoulders gym in Philly. It's one of the top gyms in the city. We used to spar him. So one day Muhammad Ali he drove by to see how his camp was keeping up, and he saw us boxing there. Hey, to meet the greatest of all time, he's coming by the camp. So he saw me boxing. He said to me, hey, I'm coming back. I'm going to be fighting. I might fight Larry Holmes, and I want you to be my sparring partner. So that's how that relationship started.
Okay, well, I saw a statement that you made online. It said, I've got nothing to hide. You can't hurt me for telling the truth. So that's what this is all about today, is telling the truth in your career and, just talking about things that have gone through. A lot of people that have followed your career know that you've had a lot of ups and downs in the ring.
Yeah.
You basically had a fight outside the ring, basically with Don King. I mean, not a real fight, not a fist-to-fist fight, but a court battle. So things like that. And so I'm just curious, when you developed a relationship with Muhammad Ali, did you become friends and have a good relationship, or did you just spar?
No, we were cool. I mean, there were several things that we were friends. After we would talk. There's some stuff that happened that we helped them. Me and this guy named Aaron Snowell. We was the young kids coming up on the block, so to say, in the camp. I was the young heavyweight that's following everybody around. Everybody was excited about my ability and stuff like that. They say this young kid, but I haven't reached that goal yet. They seen it going. They seen it on the rise. Everybody know that, hey, this kid is coming up. So, we were really friends. It's a shame that later on in his life, when he started getting sick, he started slowly forgetting a lot of things, and he couldn't concentrate on having a friendship with a lot of different people, and I was one of them, because I was in England. We were doing a charity do, and he was there to take a picture, and he didn't recognize me in a way that it hurt me, kind of bothered me a little, but I knew that me and him was really cool when he was healthier.
Okay, so now you actually started your pro career in '79 and then retired in 2003, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to go over a few names on your resume. Maybe some people don't know, maybe some people do know. You got quite a long resume, so we're not going to go through the whole thing. But, I mean, you got some noticeable names on your resume. I mean, obviously you got Larry Holmes. Everybody knows about that fight. You got James Tillis. You got Alfonso Ratliff. Seventh round. You got Greg Page. You got Pinklin Thomas, Renald Snipes, Tony Tubbs.
What the distance?
Sorry, what?
No, I'm saying those three guys went the distance. Tillis got knocked out in the first. Alfonso Ratliff, the seventh round. The other three of those guys was decisions. Then you start to say some more names.
Yeah, you got Carl the Truth Williams, you got Alfred Cole, you got Ray Mercer, Frank Bruno, Tony Tubbs, James Bonecrusher Smith. I mean, you got Andrew Galata, Brian Nielsen, Floyd Cummings, Larry Donald, James Thunder, Monte Barrett, Lou Savarese. I mean, we could talk about them all day, but we don't have all day. So, I mean, no, you got quite the resume, though. I mean, you fought all the names that were out there, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great trainer. You know, I had a great trainer, and I depended on not getting hit a lot. He taught me a lot of defensive moves and stuff. But, you know, I couldn't get hit. I wasn't really scared or nervous, because I knew I only could let those guys hit me whenever I want them to. I did get hit with some shots, but when Slim became my trainer, Slim Jim Robinson, a lot of things changed. My boxing career really changed. I think it would have been a harder career if he wasn't in my corner. I think that I'm not saying I would have been punchy, but it would have been a hard road. And he made things so much easier. You know, in my career, so much easier. The stuff that he taught me, I started relaxing. I even started not to train that much. Trainers are, because I knew that these guys couldn't hit me the way they wanted. I think that was a mistake. But a lot of things happened that in my career that helped me sidetrack the positive things. You know, like really getting in shape and all that. So, but a lot of things happened that it caused me not to really mentally get ready for these fights, like dealing with promoters and stuff.
Okay, let's talk about your first world title shot against Larry Holmes. Now, that was a split decision, and there was a lot of controversy about that fight. Do you honestly believe in your heart that you won that fight?
Yes. Well, nobody told me that I didn't. There's no one walking on the earth ever told me that I lost. You know what I'm saying? So, I never walked to anybody and said, no, I think you lost that fight. No, every single individual that I know said that I won that fight.
So why was there never a rematch then?
See, the thing is just I know a lot of hidden things, and I know this for a fact that Don King was trying to. Don King was trying to like slide. Hold on. Don King was getting Larry Holmes fights. And with the young guys, I was one of the young guys. It was David Page, Brady Page, Peyton Thomas, who was all up in there trying to, get to Tony Tubbs, all these young guys, Ronaldo Snipes, you know, and Larry Holmes. This is how the IBF was created. Larry Holmes didn't want to fight by the young guys no more because he wanted to reach Rocky Marciano's record. So, what I understand, he told Don that he don't want to fight none of these young Turks. Now, he said these harder fights. He want that clean road to Rocky Marciano's record. So, Don King kept on putting in the young guy. These hard young fights. Great Page was next, I think, after me. Larry didn't like it, so what he did was went over to Bob Lee. They created the IBF, and that's how the IBF was created, because Larry Holmes did not want to fight anymore with the young guy. So him and Bob Lee got together, created the IBF. But where Larry Holmes' mistake came in is when he talked bad about Rocky Marciano, like he couldn't wear his jockstrap. So I think that's what Larry Holmes might have needed in this camp, someone to try to help him make decisions on what to say and what not to say, because everybody know Larry Holmes says what he want to say, and he don't care who don't like it. He says that. But in this time, what happened this time, when he talked about Rocky Marciano, the whole world didn't like it. So
okay,
that was the downfall. So when he fought Michael Spinks, I actually think Michael Spinks is a good guy. I love him. He's like a brother to me. And him and Leon, actually think that Larry won one of those fights. Or if not, it was a close decision. It was close. I actually think that his mouth was bigger than his punch this time, and that's how he lost the battle of being the undisputed, heavyweight champ of the world. Reaching Rocky Marciano's record, so he blew that.
Okay, so now you were signed by Don King, and there was a lot of issues between you and Don King, and it finally came to head where the first time you fought Bone Crusher Smith, you won a unanimous decision, and then you kind of got sidetracked where you got kind of stuck fighting him a second time. And I want you to be honest with me now, because I just basically learned of what you said, and I kind of wondered your whole career how this happened, that you win a unanimous decision against him, and then the second time you get TKO'd in the first round. And now I just came across what you had said recently. So is that true that you threw the second fight to not want to fight for Don King anymore?
Yeah. The bottom line is that if you want me to fight Bone Crusher Smith, who's a hard puncher, you got to give me enough time to get ready for him. And you got to be. But prior to all that, Don King didn't trust me, and I fought Frank Bruno at Wembley Stadium, and I was supposed to get close to $3 million, and I went on with 90,000. So, and I knocked him out in the 11th round. So I don't think that Don King trusted me. I did not trust him. I was angry with him, so I went and fought Tubbs. After the Bruno fight, I was supposed to fight Tubbs. And what happened when I fought Tubbs the first time, I tested positive for marijuana, and I had to give Tubbs a rematch. I had to give him a rematch. Plus, I had to go to rehab. And a couple of things that was in the contract for me, for my punishment, was to give him a rematch and to go to rehab. I did go to the rehab, which they laughed me out of the rehab, and I was supposed to give him a rematch. So after I knocked Frank Bruno out, I was supposed to get almost $2 million. And when I went home, they called me up and said, "Tim, you got 4,000. I said, "What?" I started cussing, screaming. Everybody thought I was lying. I was supposed to go home with almost $3 million American dollars. So I did not trust him. So I went on to prepare to fight Tubbs and give him his rematch. Then all of a sudden, Tubbs comes up with a shoulder injury. And he can't fight. And it's like 10 days worth of, I think it was 3 weeks away. And so they said, "Well, we want to get Bone Crusher, put Bone Crusher in there." And I said, "No, I'm obligated to fight Tony Tubbs, and that's who I'm fighting." And then what happened was they sent me down to Florida because they thought that I was dealing with lawyers up in New York and in that area. I was trying to sue Don King or trying to help me get out of the bad situation. So Don sent me down south to Florida to train for the fight, not knowing that the lawyer that I was dealing with was in Florida. What a coincidence! I was dealing with was in Florida, and we went to Hector Camacho's camp to train. God bless him. He passed away. And his camp wasn't adequate enough. We went to his camp. It was out in the wilderness of Florida. Imagine being out in the Everglades. His ring wasn't big enough, but his heart was. And I said, "No, we can't stay here." So we moved to Miami Beach. We went to Miami Beach. I told Don, "We're not staying there. We're going to Miami Beach." They set up training down there. So they brought me back to New York, where I was supposed to fight Bone Crusher. I was supposed to fight Tubbs. Then they come up with a shoulder injury. So then I said, "No, I'm not fighting." They said, "Well, you won't get suspended. You won't go do this." They started threatening me again, like they did in the previous fights with Pinkman Thomas and another one. Everybody, Jose Suarez, Jose Suleiman, these names that you heard about, these great guys, Jose Sulaiman came in and played me. Jose Torres, the light heavyweight champ, was the commissioner, I think, was threatening me if I don't do this, if I don't do that, and everybody kept one after another. The doctor, everybody come and threaten me, this and that. So I think it was an interrogation period to try to break me. But it didn't break me. I just made a decision and said, look, I want to get away from Don, so this is how I'm going to do it. I told the lawyer, make sure it's a 3 knockdown rule, right? And make sure I get X amount of money. Not really knowing that they were grooming Tyson to take it all. See, they was grooming Tyson to take it all. Before that, Don King was telling all of his heavyweights in his camp, get ready, there's this young kid coming up, and he's not playing. And we all didn't like take heed. We just kept worrying about our business and not realize this young kid is coming up and knocking everybody out, and we sitting there just going about our own merry way, not knowing this kid is doing this. So they were only going to offer me $500,000 to fight Mike Tyson. I already knew that. She was like $500,000, and I was like, nah. So I made the decision. Look, let me give this belt to Don. That's what they want. They want to give it to Mike. I said, make sure it's a 3 knockdown rule. I got my money right. So I did it. I told everybody in my corner that I was going to go down. But my mom and my girl, my family, everybody else didn't know. My brothers knew, but all the people that came to see me fight didn't know. She was crying afterwards. And I told them the reason why afterwards, and they understood. They understood. They said, oh, okay, so that was true. That was true. And you can get everybody in my corner, in my entourage, that knew that I took a dive in that fight. And I feel bad for Bone Crusher because I think he actually really won it on a fair shake. So they were telling me, well, maybe we should mention that they're going to strip you from this, take you into everything. I said, look, I don't care. This is what the people that was writing the book, they were saying, well, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't put that in there because they're going to strip you. But I didn't care. I represent the goodness of boxing, and by me doing all this, if it can help other boxers, I don't care. I want justice. So that's what happened.
Well, no, I appreciate you being honest with me about that because I always wondered that until I came across that just recently that you actually.
Just look at the fight. You just look at the fight and look how the last time he hit me, I started crawling. I started crawling on the floor, acting like I was a little hurt and stuff like that. But I was never hurt in the whole fight at all.
Okay, let's talk about another fight real quick. When you fought Ray Mercer, I heard that Ray Mercer actually has told you that he believes you won that fight.
Yes, he did, and he keeps saying that. And I don't. Every time I see him, he says, "Tim, you won that fight." And I be saying, "Look, Ray, you're a hell of a fighter. You deserve that the win." I know that you got ripped off 2 times. I think it was against Lennox Lewis. And somebody else he got robbed. Was it Larry Holmes? Well, I know that he got robbed. So he said to me, right after the break, he said, they did it to me, now it's my turn. He said this to me. Now, we had functions in the last few years. I was with him 3 times in 3 different functions. He keeps saying that. I said, no, man, you want to be square. But he admits it. So, if you want to do that, that's cool. He's a great guy, Ray Mercer, yeah, he admitted that right after the fight. He said, they did it to me. It's my turn now.
So the whole situation with Don King and you suing him and finally getting a settlement after years and you guys doing this whole fight outside the ring, do you have any type of relationship with Don King now?
Yeah, me and Don is okay, man. He did what he did. The problem is that everybody talk about aftercare helping boxers. Everybody talking about we should get this for the boxers, get that for the boxers, but nobody helped me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody helped me. Nobody helped me and the guys that were trying to fight against the promoters that was doing wrong. All these guys with money, all the movie, the television people. God, today they wouldn't even let us. We are the ones that paint the picture for a boxing world. We boxed in the 80s, the 70s. We painted a picture, and we had the knowledge. They won't even put us guys on commentate. It's okay to put the young boxers on commentating, but the history of our era is depleting because there's none of those guys up there giving our commentating about the boxing world. So there's a gap missing. You know, talking about Bone Crusher, Tim Witherspoon, Larry Holmes, Craig David, and passed away, Bone Crusher Smith, Tony Tubbs. You got all these heavyweights, and then you got middleweights. You got all these guys. We just sitting around and we're watching younger guys commentate on TV, which is okay. The boxing world is missing us. You're missing, hey, what happened to Tim Witherspoon his opinion? What about Mitch Green? And, you know, I'm just saying Mitch Green. And what about these guys? Oh, why can't they bring us back and help us? The reason why I say I'm going to leave this thing along with Don is because nobody helped me. You know, everybody was talking bad about him. Everybody saying he's a crook. Everybody saying he's a crook. And all that. Yeah, okay, maybe yes, he did bad deals. But then nobody helped us boxers when we was trying to fight him. But that's why I threw my gloves in. And when I went to Vegas about 2 years ago, I was in this Irish kid corner. His name was Quinn. He was a light heavyweight. Coin, the Irish guy, man. He was undefeated. So I was in this corner, and Don King, he walked over and said, "Tim, I love you, man." I said, "Yeah, I love you, Don." But you know, I know there's anger in me. Was in me. I let it go. I let the anger go because nobody helped. You know, no help. And this look, I'm sitting there at the age 57, raising a little girl, trying to train guys to box when I should be on television, or somebody should give me a job doing something in the boxing world. But it seems like those guys don't care. So I'm still hearing guys talking about Don. I'm tired of it. I'm hearing guys saying, "Oh, he's a rip-off, he's a this and that." But I'm tired of hearing it because then nobody helped us. We stood up there and we shot his camp up. We did it. We was in the camp and didn't get paid. We got tired of it. We wrecked his camp up. He punished us, you know. And so that's why this is why I feel the way I feel. Didn't nobody help us. All these people saying he's this, he's that. But ain't nobody help us. And that's what I'm angry about. We put our boxing careers on the line, and people were pushing us to do it, but then nobody helped us. Even when they interviewed Seth Abraham on HBO, when he was the president of HBO Sports, he denied and even knew that we would get ripped off. He said it was practical. It was normal that a boxer get ripped off. You know? And there's an interview on Frontline with Jack Millfield, him saying that. Saying, well, it's normal that they do that. I thought that was awful. He's HBO, he should have took Don King into his office and talked to him about why do he have to do that. And there's nobody protecting us, so it's okay to do it. And Don King goes up to that. He'll go up to a line and won't go over that line. Because if he go over that line, he can go to jail. So what he'll do is he'll go up to that line and stop because he know he won't get in trouble. So it's bounces, and they just didn't help us. They just didn't help us.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of you guys got ripped off by Don King. I mean, it was a big media thing about Mike Tyson.
And everybody else was getting ripped off too. Other people was doing bad deals. I heard Manny Pacquiao got ripped off in the very beginning, and it wasn't Don King that did it. I heard he got $40,000 for a $400,000 fight. I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was with Bob Aaron or somebody like that. But I heard that Manny got ripped off, and it wasn't Don King. I heard other boxers got ripped off, and it wasn't Don King. But Don King is flamboyant, and he's outspoken. He speaks very good. He's the greatest promoter of all time, but he won't reach that goal until he admit that he did wrong, in my eyes.
Okay. Well, I got another question for you. How come you never fought Evander Holyfield?
Well, at the time that I was going to fight him, they said his heart was bad. They said that his heart was bad. And I was supposed to fight him, I think around the same time that I fought with Mercer, during that era. And I think the night that he fought Bobby Chess, and I fought Jorge Gonzalez, and Ray Mercer fought Gonzalez. So around that period of time, I think that I was supposed to fight him. But his heart, from what I heard, that his heart was playing up on him, and that they didn't okay to fight. This is a true story. This is what they told me, that they're not going to let him fight me because during that period, he had his heart, and something was wrong with his heart. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't fight Evander. Okay.
I was just kind of curious at how you two bypassed each other through your careers and how that never ended up happening. So I just wanted to hear it from you.
Well, that's what I was told during that time, and I think it was documented that Holyfield had a little bit of murmurs in his heart, but that was the time that I was supposed to fight him, so they canceled it.
Okay. And before I forget, I just want to bring up the fact, like I did in the beginning, you were a two-time world champion. You had the WBA, you had the WBC, and you actually had the NABF twice, right?
Yeah, and the USBA once.
Okay.
So
I just wanted to
man to win the heavyweight championship 2 times. I was the third man. Floyd Patterson was first, Muhammad Ali, and then me. I was the third man to win it.
And I also found out something very interesting about you doing research, that you were actually a pretty good college football player, and that you might have almost went to the NFL if you didn't get injured. Is that true?
I think with a lot of hard work I was an all Philadelphia tight end. Me and my childhood friend Keith Davis, he was an all tackle, all city tackle, and all Pennsylvania honorable mention. And my goals were set to be a professional tight end, but I got hurt, and I went back and I went home, and that's where I started boxing because all my friends were boxing.
Okay. Well, listen, I know you ended your career in 2003, and obviously it's 2015 now. So, from what I understand is you've been training a lot of amateurs. You train pros now. You actually have been training your son. If boxing fans aren't familiar with your son, Tim Witherspoon Jr., who now is he a light heavyweight?
No, he's in
welterweight.
He's in Mayweather's in class.
Welterweight.
He's 6'1.5". No, he's 6'1" or 6'1.5". He's welterweight. He's 10 wins and 5 losses. He should be undefeated. I tried to bring him up without dealing with certain promoters because of what I went through. I tried to do it the hard way, and it didn't work. And plus I was traveling the world, and I was giving him attention, but he needed attention. I took him to England, and he won 3 fights over there. But we needed more stability and more camp-like type of function so he can really pursue his his potential and become a great boxer. I think part of him not making it to his goal, which he still has a chance to do it. Is part of that was me not really pushing certain issues. I had things happen to me so much in the game. I was just overprotective, and he probably didn't train as hard for a couple of those fights, and because of certain things that happened, personal things that happened, and caused him to lose close decisions. 2 of the fights he did win, but the judges expect him to really do better than what he did, so I guess they taught him a lesson and said, look, you got to look better in this, Tim. You might have won that fight, or it was really close, but the other guy, they gave it to him because he tried hard, and maybe they thought Tim was going to get the fight because of his name, and he didn't train hard. This is just some of the things I'm thinking was going through my son's mind. But now it took off, and now he's coming back. He's going to give it another try, and we're going to really train really hard because he boxes just as good as any of those guys up there in the top. He just has to be in shape. You got guys that can't fight. You got guys that can't fight, but they're in phenomenal shape, and that carries them. My son can fight, but his conditioning is what he really needs to do. And I'm partially the fault of him not reaching his goals, but we're going to give it another try. And I've been going up to this place called Hazleton, Pennsylvania, not too far from Muhammad Ali's camp, where I've been training boxers for the last 5 months, and we had some really good talent. I can't believe that somebody let this gold mine just sit there and didn't harvest it. There's a whole bunch of fighters from Dominican Republic up in there, the Dominican Republic, and when I went up there, a friend of mine, Steve Gallagher, took me up to where he has friends up there, and we up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, right outside of Philadelphia, where I raised my kids for like 30 years, all 3 of my kids. And so my good friend Steve Gallagher took me up to Hazleton because he knew some people was interested in boxing. So when I went up there, I just couldn't believe how much talent and how many young kids are there, and nobody harvesting the crop. So I was like, they started boxing a thing up there, and I started going up there 3 days a week training these kids. Man, and you got some good talent. I'm surprised that nobody. I'm sure around the surrounding towns there's a lot of others. So we're trying to bring boxing to Hazleton, and I'm gonna be training guys on the outside of Philly and Bucks County. So we're gonna have 2 places where people are gonna be hearing from us, in the boxing world. So it's pretty good. It's going strong. I'd rather be a commentator on HBO or something like that. But I can't turn my back on these kids there's not a lot of good trainers out there who need help. And so I'm going to give it to them.
All right, Tim. Well, I got to wrap this interview up. So everybody that's out there listening to this, if you're looking for a trainer or trying to get into boxing, try to find Tim Witherspoon out there in the Pennsylvania area. And HBO or Showtime, if you listen to this, he's looking for a commentating job, and he's more than willing to come out and talk about old school boxing and get some of these old school boxers back up into the mix. Well, thanks, Tim. I appreciate the interview. And, thanks for being honest with me about your career and about Don King and about taking the dive against Bone Crusher Smith. I really appreciate that.
That's no problem. I'm going to say what I have to say. It is the truth, and I'm not going to lie about it. I feel sorry for my good friend Bone Crusher, but that's the way life is.
All right, and the truth has spoken.